Hello and welcome back to Purple Does Poison, a Druid Blight cast to life. You're joining us out here in the desert sands amongst the tombs for the level 22 edition, which will be an assault on the tomb of the Wizard King towering up above us there. So let's take a moment to collect our thoughts and reflect on where we are. Definitely looking back at the last one, the 21, which we knocked back down to Reaper 1, I was seeing loads more misses from the Hive Master's concealment. I think, if I understand the Reaper penalties correctly, we get a 40% chance for things to miss us through concealment on Reaper 1. Which on Reaper 4 would have been knocked down, is it an extra 5% for each skull? So that would have been an extra 15% penalty on top, so it would have been quite significant, that. Plus they were hitting harder anyway. Yes, I realise that's just another reason to keep the difficulty down a little bit. But that was just something I noticed. Now, something else I've noticed, we've just run the quest in the sands, Offering of Blood. For those of you familiar with that one, you'll know that things are constantly respawning in there, and you've really just got to keep moving and sort of shooting the odd things as you go. To that end, we have two awesome things in our arsenal here. This Call Lightning Storm and the Shard Storm, both of which you trigger and they just go off around you without you having to target anything or even see the target. So if things are running along behind you, they can be being hit by both of those things, and both hit pretty hard because both are maximized, so really handy to have. The other thing that I did, thank you to the fellow in the forum who gave this piece of advice, leading much more with the very cheap and very hard hitting Carrion Swarm. 2 spell points, both poison and acid, and obviously with all the metas on because it's a spell-like ability and it's hitting pretty hard. So rather than use that as a finisher behind the very expensive Acid Well or Tsunami, I'm using that as a starter, and it's been working pretty well. So spell point wise, I was a lot better off. I think I finished the last quest with over 1,000, so very happy with that. Thank you for that little piece of advice. What else have I got? No, I think that's about it. Gear wise, still exactly the same. I'm planning some changes for 23 because I have 1 or 2 pieces of Kenneth crafted caster gear that should help him a little bit, but until then it's gonna be just the standard heroic gear, sort of late heroic gear, plus the caustic forum post level 20. Otherwise we managed to make another little Reaper point, which was nice. I've put it into our reflex save, and on that note we have also gone a bit further into the draconic tree for 4 more on reflex save, because I noticed that wasn't fantastic. It's going to have to come out anyway at 23, because at 23 I'm going all in on here for the evergreen and the double damage from Shard Storm, plus the temporary hit points that Shard Storm will now trigger. Basically that should always be on cooldown when we're in combat, and of course I will forget. We won't be going for this one as we did last time with the Warlock, because we don't have any kind of imbue with this build. Although the I think the melee version does, doesn't it, of the Blight Wolf or something? Doesn't that have some kind of an imbue? I don't know. I don't know enough about melee in general. On that note, as we are trucking along quite nicely in the epic and we're kind of getting towards the business end of this life, I just wanted to sound you all out over the possibility of a next time around the wheel. My initial plan for purple with the warlock thing was to take him to the cap and leave him there, but as it was a reasonably popular thing, I thought I'll try again with the Blight caster, as that seems to be flavour of the month. See how that goes, and that seems to have gone down pretty well. So I thought, why don't I throw it open to the room for the next one? If any of you would like to see another one, I'd be grateful if you could suggest me in the comments what you might like to see. I think it's probably best if we stay away from the things already done, so the Blight caster obviously, which we've just finished, and the warlock in general, because the first one was a warlock. We could still do a Blight caster melee variant if people absolutely wanted to see that. Otherwise, everything is pretty much open. His nominal end build was that tanky acid warlock, which you saw in the first life, because that's the gear I've got for him at the end. So things to lives that would help that, would be marginally better. But honestly, I'm not too bothered. If there is something in particular everybody wants to see, maybe one of the new archetypes or something that people don't often play. What do people not often play? Maybe a pure artificer, some of the melee classes, I don't know. To be honest, I don't group enough to know what people play and what people don't. But I guess we could have some stipulations in place, couldn't we, like we've done for the Blight caster. For example, if we're going to use an archetype like the Stormsinger or similar, we would specify that, as we've done here, we go capstone in the appropriate tree. So no just taking 10-15 points in the Stormsinger or whatever and then throwing all the points in another tree that everybody knows and everybody's seen anyway. No. So we would want to see the best of the class, so to speak, going all out in that tree. Aside from that, well, pure as well, no multi-class, I think I can say that. So whatever we chose, it would be a pure 20 levels of whatever it was. And I think that's about it. I'm open to any suggestions, or if you've all had enough already of my waffle, just say so as well, and I will never darken your door again. I think that's, I can't say fairer than that, can I? Right, I wanted to show this one because this is one that's caused people a lot of problems, myself included, in the past. Getting lost and not quite knowing the ins and outs of it. So hopefully I can break it down a little bit for those of you who are still struggling with it. It's perfectly possible to solo. It's a lot better done with, if you have 3 strong characters, because there are 3 ways that you can go, which I'll try and show at the start. There are basically three ways to 3 different ends, and on 2 of those ends there's like a mini boss, and one is the Wizard King himself, and that's the objective of the quest, to kill the Wizard King. I'll probably forget to say it later, so I'll say it now. The Wizard King, as far as I know, is immune to level 4 spells and below, so can be a problem for casters to deal with. That's on it's definitely on heroic, isn't it, that as well? I don't know if on epic that's upgraded to be immune to more. I guess we'll find out. So I've been leading there with the carry-on thing. As you can see, it's an AoE. Got the lightning going as well because I'm being stingy. Yorkshire Manor Conservation for the win. For those of you who don't know, Yorkshire is my county in the UK. Oh, I had a relapse. Went with the tsunami there. Couldn't resist it. So we've got 2 shrines down here. I think what we'll do, we'll go up each separate area. If we're lucky, we will complete on the first one. But if we're not, we'll have to do 3 separate ascents. You don't know until you get halfway up each one what is waiting for you at the top there. So for the Reapers I was using the Contagion for the stun, and then the Word of Balance, because that just rips a Reaper to shreds. It's also a damage over time. You saw he took a second tick of damage there, so very good, the Carrion Swarm, if you've got any kind of acid or poison build going on into Epic. Let's put the lightning back on. Have we got, what have we got up there? Get the old Dragon Bolt thing on. Bees, spell-like ability. Now that should kill it, I think, with the damage over time. Maybe. Word of Balance. Not very good. Got a lot of health. Oh, 50,000 hit points. Yeah, I was trying to go steady on the mana. I think I'm getting better with that, not just throwing all sorts of stuff in. Right, so these are the routes you can go from here. There's one up there on that side, and 2 of them are here on the right. Now be warned, we've got some clay golems here which are healed by acid. So what am I going to do? I can't do the earthquake because that has an acid component. Can't do either of the spell-like abilities. We could perhaps go with lightning. Lightning and cold maybe from the tsunami. Let's see. Yeah, they really are a pain in the bum, these things, for any... Oh, the Word of Balance was useless, so they must be neutral. Can we stun? Yeah, we've stunned that one. I don't know what to put on him now. Ah, right, okay. So, Tsunami for the win against them. Noted. Can we just drag this guy into the... Now he's taking damage from the poison as well, isn't he? Just die, yeah. Yes. So you can see how useful when you're just wandering around that lightning thing is. I think it lasts for about a minute and it's like 3 kills once you've cast it. So we have 2 ways on. This way, you remember I said there were 2 ways. There's one through there and one down here. We're going to get rid of the Famine Reaper first, and then we're going to make our way up here. Why up here? Because on the ground level of these things, both on that side over there and down here, anytime you pass over a flat section like that, the floor can collapse and it can be a bit problematic. You get a warning a little bit before and then you've got time to jump, but it's a bit of a pain. But on this one it can't, and as we don't know where the tsunami, yes, as we don't know where the what else can I use against him? Come on, think. Cold damage, that'll do. Oh, that was a bit pathetic, wasn't it? Greater Creeping Cold. No. Tsunami again. Alright. So they're a bit heavy on my spell points. As we don't know which way the Wizard King is, we might as well go the easiest way for us first. I'm going to save some mana and not bother with those. You see we're getting blurry. Deflected is the Vistani points I've spent. If you didn't know, 6 points in the Vistani tree gets you deflect arrows. Oh crud, there's somebody interrupting me here. Deflect arrows once every 6 seconds. Any missile weapon is automatically deflected, so that's nice. Okay, I think we're going to do some heavy artillery here. Did we get him? Yes, okay. So you have to kill the gatekeepers in the end rooms to open. That's the basic premise of the quest. Keep going up and up on each tower, as they call them. And to unlock the way forward, you have to either pull a lever at the very end of one side, or you have to kill the kind of boss mummy thing at the end, the guardian or whatever it's called. Now, the floors I didn't mention. Keep to the left, where you can see this little... Can you see this raised section here? Oh, crud. You can see this little raised section here. Now, that's safe, but anything else here could collapse. So, when you go in, just keep on this and then jump out to the doorway, and you'll be alright. Oh, Reaper. Oh, that wasn't very nice, Mr. Reaper. Yeah, it's doing a damn good job for us, this carrion swarm thing. So, this is how we know how we don't have to waste time going all the way to the top of each tower. We read this tablet, and it's telling us Raiyum, the Wizard King, is at the top of this tower. So that's great, we're in luck. We don't need to go and do the other two. So that's why ideally it would take 3 people to do this well, because you would have one going each way, so obviously one would get the right one. Plus, you would have little bonuses from killing the other 2 as well for the optionals. Plus, you would get the treasure at the end of the quest, which you can only get, as far as I'm aware, if you kill all 3 of the sort of guardians. Be very careful around these levers, because they can be trapped. Now, we have evasion, and with the reflex stuff we've got, between the Reaper bonuses and the stuff in the epic tree, we're up to 54, which in sort of early epic is not bad at all. So I would expect we would be alright if there was a trap go off, yeah. But you can and should jump back to try and take less or no damage. So again, sticking to that side, that reinforced piece on the side. You saw again from the arrows we were getting deflected. Contagion, word of balance, tsunami. So here we just pull a lever, there's nothing to kill on the end. We don't have to kill any of those things, we can just move on, although they will probably give chase. Again, we've got to go on another... oh no, it's one of these jobs, isn't it? Just pull the lever and move on. Collect that remnant on the way. Oh, we got 2. So you see the lightning just passively targets whatever happens to be around you, even if, like me, you haven't seen it. So we try an earthquake. Get down. And notice the acid damage they're taking from the earthquake, as well as the force damage. Try and demonstrate that. I haven't hit them with anything apart from the passive lightning that's going off, and that's more or less finished them off. So that was good. Collect your treasure bags as you go through here, because those bronze tokens can be exchanged in the public area with a vendor in there for some very nice items from this chain, named items, not least of which the ring of spell storing to recharge your mana, the epic version of which I think has 3 charges, and each charge gives what does it give? It's like the thing that everybody's stacking, the what is it, potion of greater mana or something like that. That's not the right word for it, but it's something like that. Greater mnemonic enhancement or something like that. So that ring is like having 3 of those, which is just awesome. It's very easy to upgrade to an epic version from the heroic as well, and you definitely should, because the heroic one in my opinion is pretty useless. But you can have both an epic and legendary version of the Ring of Spell Storing, giving you 8 charges in total at the cap, which is awesome. So if you're on a build that's quite thirsty with spell points, maybe a sorcerer or something like that, that thing will be an absolute godsend for you. Oh, we've got a bit of lag here. Trying to economise as much as I can. I'm doing nicely with the spell-like abilities there. And yes, as the person said, that Carrion Swarm is hitting very nicely. Hopefully the Whiz King will be affected by that, and then we'll be having happy days. I'll try all the sort of damage over time, so I'll hit him with Carrion Swarm, I'll go for the Shard Storm, we'll be going with the all 3 of these, the Dragon Bolt, Bees and Greater Creeping Cold. I'll go with the Storm of Vengeance as well, and my Call Lightning, everything possible thrown at him. And I've been waffling on that long, this guy's turned up. Oh, and Poison as well, to try and make him vulnerable to the to both elements of our spell-like abilities, if possible. I don't think... Oh yes, yes he is, yeah, very nice. I think he might be going down in short order. He's got all the damage over time on him. Let's just have an eye on those spell points, keep our own health up. Oh, we're taking our time. Oh, I forgot the lightning storm. Is he immune to lightning? Oh, that was clever. Couldn't be one of my quests without me eating something with something they're completely immune to, could it? Nice. We never looked like dying, that's the main thing. Okay. So if that hadn't have been the right tower, and we didn't have 3 people in the quest, we would have had to DDO back. We don't have a DDO, so we would have had to make our way back pretty painfully. It's a bit of a ball ache, is that, to go back. There is a hireling, I think a level 12 fighter that you can get from the marketplace, which does have 2 charges of DDO, so it would be useful in something like this. If you were 3 of you, or you happen to need to go up all 3 towers and kill everything, then you can go to back to the start room, the one we went into first, and rather than going up the ramp and you know, the way we did, there's a way underneath that area, and that's the way that you go to get to the end chests, the treasure from the quest, just in case. I would guess that most people don't get as far as going for the treasure, but maybe if you're doing it on epic and there's 3 of you and you want to go in there for the tokens of the 12, it's underneath the sort of stage, the platform where the first little boss is in that main area. I think that pretty much concludes it for now. I'm wondering whether or not to do the Chains of Flame. I think I might let myself off that one, because we did do it in Heroic, so I think I can be forgiven for maybe missing that one this time around. Thank you very much as always for looking. Hope that was alright for you, and we'll speak to you next time. Take care.